Where's his fucking light switch? Oh, the fridge. Oh, tell me there's beers in here. Please tell me this. Oh, what's this? A piss bag or something? Is this where he keeps his urine? What the fuck is this?
Downstairs already.
Oh, mate, I attacked your fridge like.
Oh, you found the downstairs fridge.
Yeah, of course, mate. The upstairs fridge had nothing. I was like,
Yeah, they're down there. I bought them for you today. You raided the downstairs fridge.
Well, yeah, we're doing two dads and a mic, eh? Bit of a special edition tonight. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I guess it was a bit of a, not a last minute thing. We're supposed to have a guest on tonight, but
he's hard to get, isn't he?
hard to get. So that'll be next time. But yeah, welcome guys. Welcome to Two Dads and a Mic, and welcome to another podcast. It is, it's nearly 9 o'clock. It's Friday as well.
Friday.
So happy Friday.
Thanks to Jack Daniels tonight for sponsoring our podcast.
That's not a beer. I keep saying beer. It's a cheers.
Salute.
All right, Let's have a quick sip.
Oh, heavens.
These are always good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Coke, mate.
Yeah, they're always good.
So we're doing a special edition tonight, eh?
Yeah,
Something different?
something different. But I did get a request before we kick off tonight's podcast. My lovely partner wanted me to put something out there on the podcast to say
What's
how.
this all about?
Oh, I know, she just gets frustrated when she's driving. She's an aggressive driver. She just wanted to put it out there to say how shit Sydney roads are. That's all she wanted me to say, how bad they are.
Look, mate, in Sydney, you could be 10 kilometres away and it'll still take you an hour to get there.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
bro.
I agree with the traffic thing, definitely. She's talking about potholes. She hates potholes. So apparently
Mate.
they reckon the roads,
Mate.
excuse me, in Thailand are better than Australia, Sydney.
Yeah, because,
As
you
in
know,
the
we
roads.
pay good taxes to go to roads, apparently. And so is our petrol excise goes into fixing our roads and paying for our roads. But our roads are shit.
They are. Honestly,
They
guys,
are
if you're not
rubbish.
from Sydney or Australia, wait till you guys get here. Our roads are very, very bad. They are, aren't they?
Yeah, they're terrible.
They're bad roads. So, anyway, that was a request. Shit roads, get them fixed. The council, whoever it is, stop being
So,
tight.
work for the council.
Yeah.
We want the
We're not happy
potholes
with the
fixed.
roads. But yeah, there we have it.
Well, that's a little bit of a
Something a
what
bit
do they call
different.
that side? It's a
Side step, side hustle.
no, it's a I can't think of the word. That's what happens at this time of night, mate.
Yeah, it's like what we're talking about is like it's the same sort of scenarios in that things that frustrate you could put that down to like roads frustrate you.
100%.
People that wear shoes and thongs on the sand frustrate the shit out of me when I go to the beach and you're sitting there and there's someone walking past that's wearing thongs on
What
the
about
sand.
those ones your cousin wears? Those
Crocs.
oh my goodness gracious!
I've got a pair
When
of
has
Crocs.
society thought that's all right to wear?
Yeah,
Like, we've seen a lot of
But I
fashions here.
I own a pair
I
of
know,
Crocs.
I
got a pair. They got the little fangle dangle things on
God.
and whatnot. I don't wear them as much. I like me thongs, me jandals, as opposed to Crocs. But yeah, I get frustrated with shit like that. People wearing sandals and thongs on the beach. Take your shoes off. Put your feet on the sand. Get them massaged and all that stuff.
There's all those little icks, the icks now they're called.
Yeah, icks.
Oh,
I've heard of
icks.
that word a fair bit.
But yeah, we've seen fashion. Look, fashion always,
Comes and goes.
yeah, it just recycles basically. And you know, we used to wear those pants that were flared at the bottom,
Yeah.
what they call bell bottoms or something like that.
Yeah,
In
they
the
were
early 90s.
Yeah,
but
that was something.
in the
There were the
60s.
box canyons. There was the big Kappas.
The Flanos,
Yeah,
remember
the
the Flanos
Flanos,
came
yeah.
in, and there was a stage
Yeah.
that bike jerseys were cool, and
Yeah, we were wearing
Fashion
flannies to rave parties with with Jordan 6s and Timberlands and whatnot.
Yeah, Timberlands,
in.
right? Timberlands.
Yeah.
Everyone had to have a pair of Timberlands.
Timberlands,
and if
yeah.
you were a poor ass like me, you got the cheapo
The
version.
Chibo version. Yeah, I
Which
had
were Caterpillars.
Chibos. Yeah, Caterpillars.
Caterpillars. You got
Yeah.
Caterpillars, and I thought it was the shit.
Yeah, I remember my cheap version. I remember someone stepped on them. They did on the dollar like yeah. It used to annoy me.
But isn't it funny though? Like,
How fashion?
I know it's not the
goes.
topic that we're talking tonight, and as our viewers would know, that we're always talking about
Always on point.
mental health and all the rest of it. But we're just mixing it up a little bit, and it's an interesting topic. The fashion that can
It does.
You
It
know.
does come and go, and it's the same for me and the same for you. Our two daughters and our youngest,
Yeah.
they're similar ages, and they're wearing things
that we
now that we used to wear, and they're like, all
Remember
the
those jorts? Like we had jorts,
shorts. Yeah,
and now the kids are wearing jorts, and they're like, yeah, it's cool, it's jean shorts, and I'm like,
jean.
jean like 3/4.
Yeah, like knickerbockers
Yeah,
kind
and
of.
I'm like, dude, we were doing that
Yeah.
fucking 30 years ago.
Yeah, they like the cappas or whatever they were called.
we had cappas.
Yeah,
remember?
and then you'd wear the tight
General pants had all
tight
the
box
latest
top, and
latest shit.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's funny how just
it comes
there's
around.
that cycle. It's
Yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see that
That's
the
cool.
fashion's coming back around, and
but those Crocs. Sorry, brother.
they do your head in.
I just want to set the person on fire when I see them like walk in. It's just like,
What
what?
are they?
What is that?
Yeah, I know they look really weird. I've got to admit, they are quite comfortable. I've probably worn them out maybe, 4 or 5 times out in the streets and to the beach, but yeah.
Did
I'm
anyone
still-
throw anything at you?
No, I just kind of feel
Push you
weird.
down the stairs?
Yeah, I haven't come around. I probably prefer to wear them at home more as opposed to wearing them out in the street. But yeah, as into Justin, he wears them everywhere.
It's just.
And he's not here tonight too,
It's
by
just
the way,
not
guys.
right.
He's not behind the
So we
camera.
get the free reign. We
Yeah.
don't get this wrap up call.
Yeah.
Boring, you can't for too long. No
We
one's
can
gonna
stay as
listen
long
to
as
you.
we want. We don't get
That's
told
to you,
wrap.
Justin. That's to you, buddy. You can stick that where you want to.
We
You
can
can't tell us what to do.
we can wrap it up when we want to wrap it up. So
Yeah.
all good. So there we go. A bit of an introduction. We're talking about potholes and people annoying the shit out of us.
Fashion and icks and all that sort of latest jargon.
Yeah.
But there was a topic I really want to talk about. and
Yep.
It's not so we're going to talk about it tonight.
Yep.
But I'd love to talk about the amazing things that are happening with history right now. So all the things that we've been taught over, in our 50 years about the pyramids.
Yeah.
There's amazing stuff that's just come to light that I'm just frothing over. Like, I love history, right?
Yeah.
But this will be one of the things maybe we'll talk in a few weeks after we get our guest on, if we can book him in, talking about the pyramids, because that has turned history on its head. And speaking to one of my son's history teachers,
He's even blown away by it.
he's frothing.
Yeah.
He loves it. Because I said to him, man, how do you feel as a history teacher? Because they're told what to teach kids, right?
Yeah.
It's that's how it is.
Yeah, I guess kind of like the basic.
You're not supposed to
stuff.
think outside the box.
Yeah.
This is what we've been taught. You don't question it because history tells us so.
Yeah.
And I said to him, how do you feel about all this new stuff that's come out about pyramids? And he went, mate, I am blown away by it. I love it. And I went,
Wow.
you know what? I like you because you know what? You're not just following
The bouncing ball, yeah. The sheep following everyone else.
Yeah,
like
this is what we've
teaching
got to
kids
teach
boring
kids.
history
This is the
stuff.
book. This is what's been written. It's been written for 60 years or 50 years. This is what you got to... No, mate. This is like you're questioning stuff now.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things too because, it is exciting for everyone out there, whether it's teachers and
If
that.
you like that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
me, I love it.
Yeah.
You know, you never ask my partner, she'll probably fall asleep
same.
a long time.
I've-
You know what I'm
and look, we didn't really give it much of an introduction because Mark just brought it up, and I'm sure there's a lot of yous out there that have heard what they're talking about the pyramids, where they reckon that there's structure beneath
Yeah,
pyramids. It's
spiral.
like
We're talking
coil.
about
coil
600
spiral
meters down.
Yeah, and how have they come to light on this? Some special
The ground radar, whatever they've done.
Yeah.
They've found that there's a structure under there, and that they have spiral columns that reach like 620 meters below the surface.
We finally know what's underneath the pyramids, and these discoveries are groundbreaking. So, Dr. Ramini Demi discovered these cylinder-shaped shafts under the pyramids. This is a more in-detail image of what they suspect and looks like.
What they're claiming is, because its geographical position of where it is, and it lines up to the stars and all the rest of it, and if you look at the base of the pyramid, you times that, it equals something else, and yada yada, they're saying that this was built as a transforming of energy.
They think that they might have been used to create energy, or like power spaceships, or even teleport people.
Because there's always been that topic behind pyramids that they're built that perfect that you could put a pin, a needle.
Humans didn't build it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you straight off the bat now, and guaranteed, there's people that's tried to replicate the build, tried to do it. Oh, they use this, they use that. When we come to this topic, I'll have that much information that people have probably read or learned, and it's not hard to. I'm not talking about you find this on Instagram. You can do your own search, and you can find out that this wasn't built by us.
That's right, because
this
back then,
built by humans,
whether it was mankind, males and females back then, were strong and whatnot, but to lifting, these stones, this sandstone, this granite, whatever it may
be. They find stones that was from a quarry like 6,000 miles away. So you're telling, and this thing weighs 10 ton. Let's just say, for example, you're telling me slaves picked that up and threw it on their shoulder, or they put the trees as rollers
to
and
get it
pulled
there.
it. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah,
like
I know.
That's the shit we've been taught.
Being told and being taught.
We've been taught that the Egyptians built the pyramids, and it's a load of shit. Yeah. Because technology now shows you that there's no way in the world humans built that. So, you want to call them aliens, you want to call them... There's a lost civilization that is now brought to life. There's a lot of stuff that we can dig into and have opinions on.
I guess they're things that whether we've been lied to, or wool over our eyes, and it's the same thing that you just reminded me of. Lost, whether it's lost cities or lost civilization. It's the same as saying about Antarctica. There's a lot of 100%. They reckon there's another behind the ice wall. That there's another civilization. That we're not allowed to get to. People have been stopped on their way there because the government are stopping people from going there.
You got to understand, Antarctica was a country like everything else, right? Once the ice age happened, when they had the major flood and that catastrophe and all the rest of it, and the dinosaurs died and all the rest of it, Antarctica became cold.
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking about even the lost city of Atlantis.
Yeah.
All these things are coming to light now.
Yeah.
And there's all this stuff that what they had told us 100 years ago or whatever else is now coming to light. That shit ain't true anymore. So how do you, as a historian, I'd love to know, how do you live your life now knowing that for the last 40, 50 years you've been teaching history but it could possibly have been wrong?
Yeah.
How do you feel as a person? How do you feel as a historian? Are you embracing this new...
Yeah, is it exciting? Are you depressed from it that you've so-called maybe been lied about it, things have changed?
Yeah, from what you've been teaching and what you've learned is now...
I guess it opens up a big, avenue of things. Whether it is why were we lied to? Are we being lied to? And I guess it stems back from everything from NASA. I don't believe a lot of shit that NASA goes on about. And it could be as basic as saying, did we go to the moon? There's another thing which is very similar to the pyramids. It's the same sort of thing that stems from that.
You're talking about
big government, things being lied to.
100%. It's been suppressed, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about the moon landing, right? Which in my heart, I always thought it was fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
And now,
but as in, if you take it back, like I always remember as a kid, you know, having the $6 million Steve Austin man with Big Brother and had a rocket, you know, like
You had all the best toys.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, they were things that we even though, you know, I wasn't born when all that had happened, but as in,
oh, you weren't?
or maybe I was, but what I'm saying is I don't remember fucking watching it live on TV, but yes, I was born. I am 50 years of age. Fuck. But
Yeah, it was the 19 or whatever.
yeah, but you know what I'm saying, as in, oh, you fucking lost me. But what I'm saying is in,
yeah, you're saying all that stuff that was
all that stimulation, excitement
and
about
bringing out the toys, and
Americans, you know, Americans
planting
the
a
first,
flag,
all that stuff, and it was something as history, as going to school and remembering, whether it was in a encyclopedia, seeing all that stuff, and it's something that you live with, like you see it on movies. It was, you know, the one step. What was the saying?
It's one small step for man, giant leap for mankind.
Icon stuff, you know, like whether it was
Buzz Aldrin. Remember Buzz Aldrin and all the rest of
and
it?
it was in everything. For us, I even remember it on a dance, techno, rave, you know, in one of their songs. So it lived with us kind of every day, sort of, so to speak.
That's
built into your head that we went to the moon.
It was. But,
and I'm sure that, you know, there's some people will say that we did go to the moon. But
yeah, because they're scared of their own, it's their pride. They don't want to be taken for an idiot.
Yeah.
No one likes to be taken for an idiot.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, for the last 40 years or 50 years, I've been thinking we went to the moon. You know, you got Buzz Aldrin, okay? And there's snippets of it that you'll see him go, no, we didn't go there.
Let's look at the photo. You say that's me? Okay, check out the name badge. It says Aldrin. Looks like you're right. But notice the helmet. Can you see my face? No. This is a secret I've been keeping for almost half a century. On July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong and I pulled off humanity's first extraterrestrial prank.
Oh, no, I didn't go to the moon.
yeah,
And
we
he's
have
getting
watched
older,
that,
right?
yeah.
He's getting older, right? So you get that. But you think about it. The Red Hot Chili Peppers, they wrote a song about it. Californication.
Yeah.
It was made in a Hollywood basement. You know what I'm saying? And if you look now, you look at it
closely,
You look at it now and you go,
okay,
so they jumped on the thing and there's no breeze and they put the flag up and who's filming it and then you kind of go, okay, it looks a bit sketchy. But then if you go, we haven't been to the moon since, right?
that's right. And supposedly they've lost.
Oh, wait, yeah. Oh, we destroyed all that technology.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
What?
I know. It's freaky to think that
We destroyed all the technology?
our phones, our Apple, Android, and you know, there's that much technology within a phone. You know, our computers compared to back then, like,
So hang on, so we've just gone to the moon apparently,
and now we can't.
and then
get
we've
back.
gone, fuck, that was great. Oh, you know what? Hey, pack all that shit up and just throw it in the fucking bin, will ya?
Yeah, we don't
Because we're
need
not
it no
going to
more.
need it again.
Yeah.
Bullshit, brother. Like, how dumb do you think
No,
we
no
are?
other man or female will need to ever go back to the moon again.
Come on.
Yeah, I guess there's that, and I don't know, when you look at what they brought to the moon, and it's kind of like, how did everything fit in that spaceship, in the space shuttle, or whatever it was called? To think,
Sorry.
how did they fit the rover on there?
So, another one, right? So, the astronauts, remember the ones that were supposed to go up there for 8 days but ended up being there for 9 months?
Oh, just recently you're talking about.
Yeah.
And have you seen the footage
Yeah.
of it?
Let's just watch this video now. Look how fake this is. It's ridiculous. I mean, the AI, there's no wash with the water.
In green screen. Where's all the fucking wash around the fucking... Where's it?
Are you
AI?
joking me?
No.
Or what?
Yeah.
But wait, it gets better because in that 9 months, these people have had Christmas, Bar Mitzvah,
Everything.
whatever, Easter, and all the rest of it. and they've got costumes. Right?
Yeah.
Why have you bringing Christmas, Easter, fucking bar mitzvah, all this gear with you?
But wasn't it supposedly the time that they were up there, NASA and Elon Musk, didn't they send also stuff up there to them as well too?
Yeah, if you're sending stuff to them, you couldn't bring them back down? Like, it just sounds
kind of
dodgy to me.
And look, I'm sure a lot of you have all seen that footage. I remember when I first watched it and had, I first started watching it and thought, wow, they're back, that's great. But I guess when you really look close at the footage, and it was so perfect when they were coming down, the parachutes went out, it was all within sync, it was all perfect. They landed, and then the top of the, I don't know what you'd call it, the space shuttle, the capsule that they came down in when it was bobbing on the water, it was like when you were looking at the actual capsule, it was like the water wasn't even like capsizing on the sides. It was kind of weird. And then all of a sudden, Flipper and the dolphins are there greeting them saying, hello. Like, it was just so AI. To me, it was, like... Fucking bullshit! It was like a movie.
Yeah,
that's what it was like. It was typical Universal Studios.
I don't know what they're playing at. Because even Elon Musk, apparently he sent 2 rockets up there and they both failed, right? What are they playing at? What is it? Look, there's technology to show us our universe, the planetary system and all the rest of it. And apparently they found another planet that we didn't even know existed in our planetary system. That was probably 3-4 months ago.
Yeah,
which was amazing. Once again, amazing. But it's like, what's the deal there? I don't get it. Why are they telling us they can get to the moon 60 years ago or 50 years ago, whatever it was, but then they destroy the technology so we can never go back there again or never been back there again? Why? What's behind it? I don't understand.
Yeah, see, for me, sometimes I think that it's not so much what's up there; it's more what's down in our waters. Because when you see, astronauts and that when they're practicing to go up into space, it's all done within a pool, right, in a swimming pool. So,
is it?
Well, yeah, when they practice, they're actually because of not so-called, but gravity and how they float and that. So they practice in a massive pool, and quote me on this, I'm sure you guys will comment, I'm not 100%, but it kind of makes me, I don't know, I always think it's not so much space, it's within our ocean. Like, is that, apparently when NASA first started, they were wanting to discover what's in our oceans, as opposed to space.
Yeah.
But is that really the case? Are they actually really going to space? Is there a space station up there? It sort of makes you question things. If it's NASA, why are they faking the moon landing? Did they really go to the space station? It's kind of like, why then? Why we've been lied to? What are they hiding?
Because there's another thing that I saw. I'm talking about months ago, where they've got a shuttle up there that picks up a different frequency, and it's weird. Like, this was recorded, from other
planets.
No, astronauts going up and all the rest of it. They'll get a certain frequency at a certain level, and it's like someone's trying to contact them, but they don't understand what it is. And it's been going from since apparently we've gone up in space shuttles and all the rest of it. So we're talking maybe 50, 60 years where they get to a certain point and then it's just like things get scattered. So look, for me, the universe is all electrical.
Yeah.
Everything's electric with us. From water, our bodies, all the rest of it. We pick up frequencies. It's all frequencies. So sound frequencies are good for our bodies and all that sort of stuff. You've heard like certain ohms.
Yeah.
Ohms are like, that's why, sometimes when the noise gets too much, you go, I can't handle this.
Yeah.
Because it's out of balance of you. But then you have certain frequencies where you feel peaceful and love and all the rest of it. I know that's kind of taking a little bit off.
No, it's not. It all relates to each other.
As humans, we're made up of water and electricity, basically.
Yeah.
Your brain that sends off so many little zaps every, whatever it is, and it fuels our body, the water, and all the rest of it. So we're in tune with the universe. So where am I going with this? Good question.
As technology is getting smarter and smarter, and we have the internet and everything else, and
Everything's at our fingertips.
everything's at our fingertips. And whether it's to do now with during COVID, it's like during COVID times, it was like people got smarter because they were at home. They were doing a lot of research on the computer, on the internet, and it was like a lot of stuff started to come out, like about landings and people, whether they could put things on slow motion and look at certain things on what was happening.
A lot of it's come to light, and like the lost civilizations, that sort of stuff. You got is it Graham Hancock? Graham Hancock does a series on Netflix that you'll see, the Lost Civilizations or Ancient Civilizations, something like that. It's called. You got temples of Göbekli temples in Turkey that have been discovered.
After all these
years,
yeah.
there's taverns in China that have been built underground that you just go, how?
Yeah.
There's so much has come to light. I think we've been bombarded with so much information that we need to take our time to process, that it's kind of like, wow, like what have we been lied to about?
Yeah.
And what is reality now? Because it's so much.
Because I guess sometimes you think, is it just all the shit that's out there that's getting filtered into your head? Whether you're on, Instagram, TikTok, and there's so many reels, whether it's about this or it's about that, and you can go down a rabbit hole, is what I'm saying. Whether it's
once you do your own
research,
homework, 100%, you can jump on the internet and find out any of these stuff.
I think it's just different today. Like, everyone's got a different, and I'm sure it was always like that, but everyone's got a different perspective. And you should have your own, what's the word? Your own mind, like.
Yeah, but you got to understand, bro. A lot of people they go to work, they come home, they got a family, they got kids, they got life. There's a lot of people that you'll find very few people are interested in the stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because it's that pride thing, maybe, where they just don't want to know that they've been lied to or possibly lied to about the history of mankind, basically.
Yeah.
So if you have an open mind like we do, we're open to those things. We go, oh, that sounds interesting. Let me do a little bit more research. Bang, 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 bang. Oh, shit. And we start reading and we go, this is a reputable source. Yep. Blah, blah. There's people out there that still believe COVID was a killer disease.
Yeah.
But until 7, 9 and 10 tell them, they think we're nuts.
It's true. No,
right?
you are right.
Fauci, the most evil man, and Bill Gates, who want to depopulate the world. People still think that these guys had our best interests at heart. Our government wouldn't do that to us. It's all come to light. We've all been duped.
It's all about big money, big business, oil, petrol, the whole lot.
It's about money.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's all about money, right? They made a lot of money from it. And look at Trump now, right? And I'm a fan of Trump. I think he's the one that pushes against big boys, right? Yeah. The big capitalists, the ones that run the country.
Yeah.
Or all those big billionaire dudes that push their agendas and all the rest of it. So to me, he's signed documents now to open up the JFK murder, the Martin Luther King murder. He's opened the files. He's released those. Those files that have been locked and loaded for that long.
Yeah, why though? Why?
Because they're hiding something.
It's another topic. There's so many variables within there. Like, it's like, why after all this time that we no, it's always been locked.
We've grown up knowing that JFK was shot by Oswald.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King was killed by I can't remember his name. But why are those files hidden away from public?
Yeah. Why all this time?
We couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Back then, we couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
But now the age of
things have changed. It's all coming out.
Things have changed. We've got everything at our fingertips. You just Google whatever the hell you want to Google. Yeah, you're going to get disinformation.
Of course.
But you're going to get the proper information as well. But But I'm saying there's so much shit that's still hidden from us.
Yeah, and I guess that's, and then that starts to open up your mind, and then you start to, question things, and you do say, so well then, if they did lie to us about whether it was the moon landing or,
can you imagine
all that stuff, and then you sort of start to think, but what aren't they telling us? Like,
but
why?
what do you think's going to happen?
People go mad. People go crazy.
But what, they're going to riot in the street? No, man. People aren't going to riot in the street. People are going to lose faith in their government.
Yeah.
It's just like, we need to know what you've been lying about.
Yeah.
It's just like, you can't keep thinking that we're all dumb. Yeah, there's a good part of the population that just don't care.
Yeah, as in they're all sheep,
live
they're
in their
all
little
following.
bubble.
Yeah.
Right? But the rest of us that have half a brain and like to think
Yeah.
and question things, because you always got to question things, what about us?
Yeah.
But we're considered by the majority of being Fruit Loops, he's another conspiracy theorist, he's a Fruit Loop. How many conspiracies that you thought were conspiracies are now coming true? Like your 9/11.
Yeah.
What's that, 20 years ago now?
And there's more stuff till today that still keeps coming out about
It keeps coming out because you can't keep this shit down. You can't bury it. Not in today's technology. You've given us the technology now to look at everything.
Yeah.
It's not like back in the days. Even you go 20 years ago. 20 years ago is in 2000. All right, go back 30 years ago.
As good as my maths when I wasn't born when they went to the
20 years
moon.
ago was a long time ago, but
No, it's not really, but it is. But yeah.
Yeah, but go back to the 80s and the 90s, you would have had a newspaper, 7, 9 and 10, ABC, that was your SBS. That was your...
And a black and white TV.
And that was your window to the world.
Yeah.
We had encyclopedias that had been printed for the last 60 years sitting on our bookshelves, which we'd get out every now and then to learn something. But that was the level of...
Yeah.
Now the generations have passed, because the older generations that grew up with that, they wouldn't believe the shit that we're coming out with.
Yeah, it was the typical... Dad come home, have dinner with the kids. They put the box on the TV, and
you'd watch a show.
So, whether it was
whatever, Hey Saturday, or whatever,
Dallas,
whatever, the news or whatever else.
Yeah,
you're home and away, and then it'd be like, bedtime. See you later.
That's right. And it'd be like March. Did you
rinse
see that?
And repeat. Rinse
Did you
and
see
repeat.
that March? They went to the moon, and
Well, look
all
at
that
the
stuff.
Simpsons.
Yeah,
Simpsons are a perfect example of predictions.
Yeah.
How? Tell me how. And then you look at those other guys that look deep into stuff, and they said, they've been putting that in front of you the whole time.
Yeah, I guess you can kind of see why there's, and it's good that everyone's got different opinions. Like I always go down a rabbit hole, and you'll probably laugh, but it's the same. Like there's people that believe that we live on a flat Earth, and there's
you got flat earthers, 100%.
You got the firmament above us that people say, if you're religious, it's in the Bible about the firmament. That's why when you do see rockets, they go up, they're not actually going straight, they're actually going on a curve, and some of them you see where they hit the firmament and all the water and all the rest spills out. And I kind of get why people it's good to have different opinions. And it's like, well, they're saying that NASA are lying, that we don't live on a globe, we're on a flat Earth. They're saying that, Antarctica on the old maps, Antarctica is what's stopping the water from falling off the edge.
Yeah.
And we've been lied to. So there's a lot of yada yadas out there and whatnot. But as in the moon landing, for me, I didn't want to believe it, but I've seen all that footage and just get back on the topic of everything.
Have you seen the snippets of the astronauts when they're going up? Like, have you seen some of the videos that you see that have been, I don't know if they've been doctored, or you kind of see like a string holding them?
Oh, where they're supposed to be like gravity.
There's a cup of water that's just sitting there and it's not floating. Shit like that. You kind of go, whoa, hang on a minute.
Have you seen that other one out there where the astronaut's about to close the lid, and it's all floppy, and it's... I'll put it over the top. Have you never seen it before?
No.
So he's about to close, I think, like the hatch,
Yeah, and he's wearing like the full thing.
No, he's got his full
his kit on.
His kit on, but as he's closing it, that hatch, instead of it being solid, galvanized or whatever it is, it's just like all malleable. It's all like fake. And
because that's what happens.
Dumb shit. Yeah.
I still can't believe that in 2025 that I've got to put together a video to show people more evidence of NASA lying. So here's the first clip. You know, he's got gravity, they haven't got gravity, they forgot to edit out the technician.
It's like, what the hell? It's like, where's Wally? Where did this guy come from?
Where did this guy come? Oh yeah, no, he's bringing us drinks. Yeah,
so it's quite it's interesting. Like, it's sad at the same time, and it's interesting because it's like making you think, like, what's going to come out next. You know, where we're going with this was with the pyramids, how interesting, and history.
Oh, the pyramids have been, and it's not just in Egypt. There's pyramids all over the world.
I reckon there's even pyramids down the ocean.
Yeah,
in the ocean as well too.
Yeah,
so
because you got to understand when Graham Hancock mentions the lost civilization, right? Because they also talk about giant people.
I've seen that as well.
Yeah, and
and was that a possibility of giant people lifting those big pieces?
Well,
of
sandstone? They've found bones and stuff. They found skeletons of these guys.
Yeah.
So that's another different angle of it. But there's the Anunnaki.
Yeah,
the Anunnaki.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
These are beings that were on this planet before, and blah blah blah.
Because they're quite tall and big.
Yeah, they're tall and big. So these guys could build these structures that we have today, and they're a most advanced civilization. So what they're basically saying, when the Anunnaki came to Earth, and like the humans were created from this Anunnaki, they were quite intelligent. But once they had this catastrophic war, which basically brought fire, snow, the great floods, which they mentioned, and all the rest of it, it basically wiped out a civilization. So the ones that were left were basically what we are now.
Yeah.
According to the story, like the caveman type. And we just basically got evolved from that.
We got downgraded. We got smaller and smaller.
Yeah, we got the shit end of the deal, right?
I can't lift the car up.
But that sort of stuff, it's interesting because you're looking back at... So if that is to be correct, that wipes out religion.
Yeah, it's interesting. I never thought of it that way.
You're talking a multi-trillion-dollar industry, because you know how many religions we have, but that will take out everything. So what's in the way I see it is, if they were to make this common knowledge that we came from the Anunnaki, the great floods were caused from this battle that they had and all the rest of it, that would wipe religion out. So you can imagine the chaos that would be in our living society right now. It would be absolutely
uproar. And it makes you do. Yeah, that's right, because it does make you think. Again, whether it is true or not true, a lot of this stuff could be suppressed and not told to protect society as it is today. Yeah. And what's that? The norm. Go to work. Come home, pay your bills, pay your mortgage.
We're modern day slaves. Yeah, that's what we are. Yeah, we're modern day slaves. Because at the end of the day, we don't have a chain to our
modern day slaves.
We're chained to our mortgage.
With potholes and shit roads.
Yeah,
and big taxes here in Sydney and Australia and whatnot.
Yeah. But we're modern day slaves. So that's what I'm saying. The repercussions of, let's say, the truth coming out would be more damaging to society today than ever before.
Yeah.
Because you can imagine wiping religion out. You imagine telling the Christians that Jesus,
it'd be crazy.
Jesus didn't exist. God is not a person.
Yeah, or Allah, or et cetera, et cetera.
Who you actually think God is the leader of the Anunnaki, or the other side. His brother was on some other thing. I can't remember what it was. But going to that sort of stuff, it's too damaging to society. So I understand a little bit why they suppress certain things to us, like the JF Kennedys and the Martin Luther King killings and stuff. It's because maybe the people couldn't handle it at the time. But now...
Sorry, I mean, we're getting told pizza's ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're coming, righto. We're coming. We've got to see, even though Justin's not here, we're ringing the bell. We've got to wrap it up. We've got pizza.
Yeah. All right, well, let's wrap it up for tonight, I suppose.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks.
So say something different, guys. I hope
hope we didn't bore you guys too much. And
you probably think that we're...
It's just, all we're trying to say is interesting. I know, for me and Mark, like, yeah, we like talking about history. We love... You know, whether we're having a few glasses of wine or a few bourbons, like, you know, it's always good to talk about things like that, and I guess where the world's going in all this. I don't know, something to think about. Did we really go to the moon? Didn't we go to the moon? Do your own research, and
look, if that interests you, there's a whole,
whole range of different things.
Yeah, just don't go down that rabbit hole too much.
Yeah, please don't.
Just keep it at that level where you can, you still live your life, but you understand that certain things are held from us. There's certain things that, you might not agree with, or, the things that we're saying, you might think I'm a complete nutcase.
Yeah.
Or, you
probably are.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's your opinion.
We won't take offence to it.
No.
Drop us a comment, let us know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been told from the ladies that pizzas are ready. We're not under the thumb or anything, but anyway, guys, give us a hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, all that type of stuff helps out the channel, as we always say. And thanks for
enjoy
watching.
your week, enjoy your month, and get that new episode out, and bring our guest out next time if you can snag him and book him in.
Yeah, if he's watching this, you know who you are. You're supposed to be here tonight. It's like us.
Yeah. But,
Have a good one, guys.
Catch
you on the next one. See yous. Bye-bye. I just have to record. Nah, it's still